So ladies and gentlemen, over to Shalini.
Thank you. A very good morning to everybody. Since I've already been introduced, I will not go into that again, except for saying that I have had the privilege of playing all sorts of testing roles. So I have been a test engineer, I have been a test analyst, an architect, a consultant, and as one of my colleagues the other day said, Shalini, you've been test.star. So I took that as a compliment and also as a variable, but that's what I have been. And then as I see all of you across the room today, I believe each one of you have also been and will be test.stars. So a very warm welcome. Thanks to STC and QAI for letting me be the first speaker. I truly feel honored and privileged to be here standing on the stage and talking to you all about what I think, what we all probably have already heard, what clients want. And like we said correctly, that clients are the ones that are our focal point. They provide us with the business, and they are the reason why we exist. According to a report from IDC, testing business is growing at the rate of 16% compounded annual growth. And that means we will reach about close to $30 billion of business by 2016. Now that's a lot of business to deliver to our clients. I'm sure we would like to know what is it that we do to deliver quality and deliver this business to our clients. So that's what I'm trying to bring forward to all of you. What I've done to put it together is I did a small survey across my India delivery center. We have about close to 11,000 people now, and a lot of clients that we work for across industries. And I asked my delivery leads, my sales leads, the folks who meet the clients that, have you seen a shift in what clients wanted, say in past 5 years or maybe even 10 years? And I got some very interesting answers there. I also looked at what our analysts are saying. So I've put it all together for all of us to share and look at what our clients want. Let's sort of look back and see what did our clients want earlier. What did they want? In terms of cost, they have always been asking us, how can you lower the cost further, right? Or how can you reduce the effort? In terms of time, they've always said, get me to the market faster. Do something about reducing the cycle time. Let's get quicker. In terms of quality, since we are upholding the quality, they have been saying, get lesser defects into production. I'm sure all of you have heard that. This is what our clients have wanted. In the past 10 years, as testing has become not just a phase in the life cycle where anybody could wear a tester hat and become a tester, but career tester professionals like all of us here today in the room. This is pretty much what we have seen our clients want in past few years. But I'm sure you will all agree that we've started seeing a trend that they've started wanting something different. And I've tried to put together the causes of those changes and then also sort of summarize what is it that they really want. So let's take a look at 3 major causes of our clients wanting something different. And the forces today that I think are shaping our testing business are threefold: markets and economy, the technology trends that we see emerging, and last but not the least, the changes that are happening in business itself and the competition that has emerged for all our clients across the industries. Let's examine each of these forces one by one. In terms of markets and economy, all of us are aware of the downturn that we saw in 2008. I've sort of divided the whole global economy into 3 sectors. You have high income and developed countries like Japan and US. You have the whole Eurozone, and then emerging markets and developing countries like India, China, Brazil, and all of those. Now let's take a quick look at what has happened since 2008. 2008, we had rocketing fuel prices and food prices. Everybody thought, and then correctly so, that we are headed into a recession. This was the first such event to happen after 1946. And we were all very worried, so were our clients, so were the economists around the world. But when came 2010, we saw a recovery happening. The GDP started growing, the outlook became positive again, and we were all starting to feel better and positive, and so were our clients again. But what happened? In 2011, there has been a drastic slowdown in that recovery. Just to give you some numbers, today in 2012, the unemployment rate in US still stands at 8.2%. It used to be less than 6% before this crisis hit us. The housing market has still not picked up in US. Take a look at what's happening in the Eurozone. A lot of them have actually had negative GDP growth. Unemployment rate in Eurozone is more than 11% at this point in time. Spain and Greece today are more than 25% of unemployment rate. Can you imagine what that is doing to the motivation of working folks, what that is doing to the businesses? Emerging markets are slightly better off. So India and China respectively saw a growth of actually China 9.2% and India 7.3%. But as you can imagine, the global economy is still growing or expected to grow around 3.7% as compared to 5.2% that it grew in 2010. Lots of numbers, I know, but what does that do to us? As we stand here today, there are some pessimists, I would say, who are fearing a double-dip recession. There are some folks who are just waiting and uncertain and watching. And there are some folks who expect that things will become better and they will grow. I'm talking about our clients, right? And then we see hence a lot of clients who are cutting down their costs, who are expecting IT industry to be frugal, who are expecting us to optimize everything that we can use, and that applies to testing as well. So the global feel about the economy is uncertain, and that's where an opportunity lies in for us to figure out how we can transform and help our clients. Let's look at the other element that is shaping our testing business, and that's technology trends. According to Gartner, I've read a couple of reports, 2012, there are 5 forces that are transforming how technology, how business is being transformed by technology trends. So we have this whole social media coming in. Salesforce.com today has a desk for their sales agents that directly connects to social media. That's how pervasive social media has become. Today, a person does not like a particular brand of toothpaste, they put it on Facebook, and before you know, their family and friends and their extended family and 2,000 contacts are not using that toothpaste. So it's consumer-driven business, it's consumer-driven IT today. And what's happening to our clients? Our clients are expecting that we, hence, test their applications, keeping in mind what it would be when it reaches all these consumers. Let's look at another trend, cloud, right? With the advent of cloud and related technologies, it's much easier now to create a test environment. Our clients have started expecting to not only create test environments on cloud with absolutely no infrastructure cost, but they're also expecting us to have it data ready, tool licenses ready, and maybe even ready with certain technology platforms that they're working with. Social media is all pervasive, and there are ways to access that, right? So you have your cell phones, your tablets. Gone are the PC days, gone are the days when I had to get home and log into my big desktop. I can check emails from anywhere. Little kids have mobile phones, they're texting all the time. And what does that do for our clients? And this is one element that, I'll talk about it a little more, but this is something that is, again, infiltrating all types of industry. So what is a change in communication is actually affecting every possible business sector. Our clients are waking up to it and they are thinking how their apps can be, one, mobile compatible, and what mobile apps do they need to create for their businesses, and what are the testers going to do about it? How are they going to test it? The other couple of elements are business process transformation. Again, across the industry, all our clients are looking at transforming how their business processes work. And what does that do for us? IT systems have to gear up to enable that change, and we as testers have to validate that the business process change is actually being supported by the IT systems. And the last one there is all about data. In 2011, we had 1.2 zettabytes of data. That's more than 1 trillion gigabytes of data. Where is this coming from? Smart meters, all the exhaust that's left on the internet, social media, transactions. What are our clients expecting us as testers to do? I think that's still an open question. Are they expecting us to validate all the data that they're collecting? Are they expecting us to validate the applications that are processing that data? How much data integrity is good enough? Do I want to do 100%, or a fair amount of analysis is fine? So these are some of the questions that we need to answer as testers, and a technology trend that is surpassing boundaries of a particular industry. Let's take a look at the last one, and I've just picked up a couple of examples in terms of business. Two, in fact. So there was a time when you had to go to a grocery store to shop. Today, 50% of the holiday shopping happens online. There was a time when you had to apply for a trunk call. I'm sure everybody who's in India, their parents will at least tell you these stories. I think I see a lot of young people here. They had to first request for a trunk call and then wait for 10 minutes, and they had to speak really loud. Hello, that kind of a thing, right? Today, the cell phone subscription has increased from 2009 to 2011. There are 6 billion cell phone subscriptions. Over 87% of world's population is using cell phones. So you can imagine the kind of transformation that has happened, how the business has changed. Let's look at retail industry. In 1902, first time in US retail industry, JCPenney was opened. So the focus shifted from going to one store to buy clothes and the other to buy shoes to big department stores. From there, Walmart opened up in 1962. We had Target and Kohl's opening up at the same time. And pretty much our last century moved from single stores to department stores to malls, something that we have seen happening in India now. But one event in terms of retail industry, of course, internet is lying at the bottom of it, but Amazon started in 1995. What you can see, the kind of trend, the shopping trend that changed from single store to a department store, something that took almost 90 years because of various reasons. In past 15 years, the way shopping gets done has changed. You don't need to take a shopping cart anymore and go in and pick up stuff. You can pretty much shop for everything: clothes, apparel, accessories, shoes, electronic items, and even groceries on the internet today. What does that do for our retailers? What does that do for us? Look at all the type of testing that has come into play. E-commerce testing. We had never thought about it. Testing on the web. Today, there are over 100 browser OS combinations that a user can use. If I design something as a retailer, I need to do compatibility testing to make sure it works everywhere. Security testing. There are users using security cards and a lot of sensitive data, just sensitive data about date of birth and spouse name and things like social security numbers. So security testing has come into play. Usability testing, nobody would have thought about it. Earlier, computers were supposed to be big blocks that somebody went in and punched in numbers. Today, everybody's using it. So that is what this whole e-commerce change has brought us from a testing perspective. Similarly, look at the mobile part of it, right? Today, the mobile app business is estimated to be $12 billion, something that would have been non-existent, I'm guessing, almost 5 years back. What does that do for us? Clients are expecting us to set up mobile testing frameworks, mobile testing labs. We at Accenture have 3 of such labs set up. All of that has happened in last 5 years. 90% of the clients that I met last year asked me about point of view or framework or tools and techniques and service offerings in mobile testing. And mind you, it's not just communication. So it's not just about communication providers. Today, there are 180 registered communication providers in US and over 84 device manufacturers. So there are about 1,000 odd devices that need to be tested. Banking industry is getting impacted by it. Today you can do mobile banking, you can do mobile shopping, you do everything on mobile. So if you put it all together, as we can see that the global trend in terms of business, our clients are worried, they're uncertain, right? That they're worried about costs, they're even worried about going and starting a new business. Technology has not stopped evolving and rapidly changing. We have things like cloud and social and data explosion that has happened in the past 5 years. And businesses have seen changes. I've just picked up 2 examples. You pick up any industry, you will see similar transformations that have happened in last 5, 10, 15 years. All of that is us putting our clients in a situation that they're asking us for something more. Like I said at the beginning, I tried thinking about what it is that our clients are asking. Can I put it in one word? And then I think my word of saying what I think our clients want is for us to innovate. Our clients are constantly asking us to innovate across all of those 3 dimensions. So the dimensions do not change. From a cost perspective, they are saying make it lower than ever before. From a time perspective, they're saying make sure that I go ahead of the competition. So don't just reduce cycle time, make me go to production before my competition does. And from a quality perspective, they're not saying just have less bugs in production. They're saying I want 100% availability. That could mean infrastructure related stuff, that could mean everything that we do from a testing perspective. So our clients today are not asking us to just test. They're asking us to promise them quality, and not quality just out of the testing phase. They are saying shift left, pay quality throughout the life cycle. I have a lot of uncertainty from a business perspective. My competition has not stopped changing, and technology is providing me with tools that I'm expecting my test professionals to use. I'll give you a couple of examples. So from a cost perspective, today, the clients ask us, can you test in a way, can you deliver testing services where you charge me for every defect that you find? So don't charge me by the number of test cases that you're writing. Or can you test, can I do crowd testing? Why do I even pay a service provider, right? So those are the kind of cost elements that are playing in their mind. When it comes to time aspect, they're saying, can you apply techniques? Can you apply risk-based testing and then make sure that you test optimally? Can you use orthogonal arrays to optimize what you test and then give me biggest bang for the buck in terms of test coverage? Can you automate other parts of testing and not just test execution? I mean, test execution automation has been around for a lot of time. Can you even automate test design? Can you automate all these report generation that happens? Can you automate metrics gathering and reporting on that? So from a time perspective, they're not just saying reduce cycle time. They're saying make changes, innovate on how you even conduct that cycle. Same thing in terms of quality. They are saying don't just test the application from a technology or a code perspective. Test it for my business process. A lot of our clients are asking us to be focused industry testers, and then not just testers of Java. Gone are the days when somebody said, are you a Java tester or a .NET tester? Today somebody asks, can you test banking applications or credit card applications Today, the requests that we get are, we need somebody who can test a banking application or an insurance application that uses a particular kind of platform and a particular kind of software in a particular country, because there would be regulatory things in there. So testers are not just testers anymore. They have to be skilled in domain, in all the technology trends, because our clients are asking us for 100% availability and not just higher quality. Testers today, or test professionals like us, are the bridge between clients' businesses and the revenue that they seek out of their businesses. We have to be their trusted partners in that journey and not just merely service providers. Few words that I have heard are SLA-based commitment, right? So can you sign up for a defect-free application? Don't tell me how many test cases you're running. Can you be my thought leader with me and tell me how can I use cloud, or how can I port my applications to the cloud? What are the risks that you see? So in my mind, to sum it all up in one word, and then I'm telling you, it was a very simple question to ask, what do our clients want? And a very difficult one to answer, and I'm sure you will all agree. But if I had to put it all together in one word, I would say that word in my mind is innovate. Innovate, innovate, innovate. And I think the fact that I'm standing here as the first speaker for Testing Business 3.0 and talking about reimagining the business, if I want to leave you all with one key thought, that thought would be innovate and reimagine. Innovate to transform how our clients do business. There are great forces like economy, which is still teetering on the edge of possible recovery. There are technology trends that are not stopping, and then there are business changes across all industries. What can we as test professionals do is to innovate and then help our clients and then be their trusted partners. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Shalini. Good morning.
Hi.
This is Rajesh from TCS Delivery Head India region. Particularly, I deal with a lot of Indian clients day in, day out. And looking at that perspective, it's I just read your point about the focus being shifted from a pure tester to being a person who has an understanding of the domain also.
Yes.
Now, from my perspective, I think there are a lot of challenges in this space because the business is continuously evolving and transforming, particularly in the India segment, in the financial services segment, let's say. From your experience, what are the challenges you foresee? Because a person moving from a pure techno role to actually a business tester, he has to actually know the customer business plus test the application per se. So from your experience, what are the challenges you foresee in this area?
Like you correctly said, right? So the business is evolving very rapidly, and then technologies is not helping us there in the sense that new technology trends also make it evolve even faster. So you're right, the challenges that, if I have to put it as one challenge, the main thing I see is a single test professional cannot potentially have all of those qualities. So my answer to most of my clients who also see this challenge, and my guidance to them is, don't start looking at a resume and expect that person to know everything. Think of it as a team that needs to deliver the eventual result of quality to you. So you could potentially have a person who is technology aware, but really domain focused, and pair that up with a person who is completely, technology person who understands all the trends and how to manage that and is aware of the domain. And that can be achieved by some basic 101 courses. That is something that we can do to make pretty much everybody aware. So banking is, you took banking as an example, or let me take insurance as an example, just from the past. There are applications or platforms like TIA and Duck Creek that are very, very specific. But policy and claims, for instance, or creating a quote might be very similar. So a tester or a test professional can probably be made aware of policy and claims and expected to understand the nuances that Duck Creek would have or TIA would have. And similarly, there could be a person who completely understands the configuration of that particular platform and put these two together to deliver a holistic experience to the client. So that is the challenge I see, that one test professional cannot potentially be completely aware of all the technology trends and changes and transformations, plus everything that's changing in business.
So are you saying that a particular tester, he needs to move from being totally a functional tester to actually understanding the business, a business analyst, plus a kind of a tester role combined together in the current scenario?
Yeah, I think that's another way of putting it. And then I have personally always felt that a test professional or a tester is a good tester only when you understand the business purpose of that application behind it. And just going by my personal experience, I remember in the early days when I was a techno person and expected to test, I did a much better job when I understood why this particular merchandise was being priced the way it was. And things like that. So I think this is not new. It has always been there. But like you correctly said, the rapidity with which the technology and business is changing, it has become even more important and challenging.
Thanks.
Sure.
Thank you, Shal. Thank you, Shalini. Yeah, one last question at the back. Right at the back. Yeah.
Shalini, good morning. This is Manjeet from Wells Fargo. So we are a bank in the United States. The market is growing fast and the technology is emerging rapidly.
Could you speak a little louder? I cannot hear you clearly.
Oh, can you hear me now?
That's better, thank you.
So the market is emerging fast and technology is growing rapidly. The challenge that we see across the floor is when we hire people from services, the most required aspect of is basically domain knowledge. And what are the typical efforts that a company invests to ensure that the task or the manpower gets up to the speed in terms of domain?
So you're saying that domain knowledge is becoming very important. So what can a firm do to make sure that we deliver quality?
Yes.
Okay. Multiple things. And I'm sure I'm not going to provide you with a comprehensive list, but like we were discussing earlier, I think one of the basic things we can do is ensure that the testers or test professionals are aware of the domain that they're about to test. So that awareness, that knowledge, maybe 101 sessions, a training before you even start building up a test project is there. Then I think a continual enhancement of that particular skill, because the business keeps changing, new things keep coming in, new technology platforms coming in. I think it's not just a one-time thing for all of us as testers and for a team of testers. So not only do you need to learn it to begin with, you need to continuously update your knowledge. And I think we will also need a very, very effective proficiency assessment framework for the domain skill. I think we have had in past very good ways of measuring how good a person is in C programming, or even how good a person is in test case writing. But developing a good proficiency assessment framework and gauging what level of domain knowledge are we, and then that could obviously also involve some external certifications, right? So banking industry and insurance industry, retail industry, all of these have certifications. So when I say proficiency assessment framework, I'm thinking about internal frameworks, I'm thinking about external certifications, and all of that has to be in place to ensure that it's not a one-time activity.
Thank you. Thank you, Shalini. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Shalini, that was an